Hey guys, and welcome to Let's Play Donkey Kong Country 2 on the Super Nintendo. This game was released in November of 1995 and of course stands up there as one of the classics on the Super Nintendo, standing alongside its previous release of Donkey Kong Country. This is Diddy's Kong Quest. I didn't realize for a long time that Kong Quest was a playoff of the word conquest, of course. You also have to take into account that when this game was released, I was 5 years old, so cut me a little slack, maybe. So we're going to go ahead and start a new game. Of course, this game is very similar to the original Donkey Kong Country. You'll see a lot of parallels as we go forward if you've seen it. And if not, then, well, you know, if you like what you see, the original is out there too. So I'm going to start out. The world map is quite a bit different. It's a lot darker with some darker music. But we start out in Gangplank Galleon, which is where we left off in the first game. So I guess that works, right? So you can see it's Donkey Kong Country. We can head to the left here, much like the first game, and get our one bit of story. Captain K. Rool has kidnapped Donkey Kong and you'll never see him again. That's the whole story. That's really all you need. It's more about the gameplay, I think. So of course we've got our standard moves. We can roll, we can get DK barrels, but as you can see, we don't have Donkey Kong this time. This is our new character to the series, Dixie Kong. It's Diddy's girlfriend or something, I think. I don't remember what exactly the lore is, but as you can see, her special ability is that she can kind of like hover in the air for a bit, and we can also do some other things like teaming up and throwing each other into barrels. We'll be seeing a lot of that throughout the game, but you know, otherwise it's Donkey Kong Country. We've got our Kong letters to collect, and of course some pretty dumb damage right there, but we can just keep going. So we could have teamed up there, that's why the banana said A, and we could have got that coin, but too bad. So we've also still got our bonus levels, which are a staple in the Donkey Kong Country series. The only difference with this game, though, is you have to actually complete the bonus game for it to count towards your final percentage. I will be getting 102%. There's another collectible there, the coins. We'll get into more about what those do later. And we picked up the token there, and also the tokens we'll probably get more into later. Basically, we're just going to be collecting them for now. We're not going to use them for a long time. So we've got our rhino friend Rambi again from the first game, but this time he's got a new power. We can hold A to kind of charge up this dash attack. We can use that to plow through enemies or sometimes to break open doors and walls in order to get to another bonus game. So bonus games are divided up into a few different types of games. There's some that really all you have to do is get to the end. There are others like this that have special conditions, which are usually stuff like destroying all the enemies in the area before you can get the coin. So, you know, be a little mindful of that. But otherwise, the bonus games are usually pretty straightforward. There are very few that are actually challenging in any way, really. And we also just picked up a big DK coin. You've probably noticed there are a lot more collectibles in this game than there were in the first. There's going to be one of those in each level, and we're going to have to get them all in order to get 100%. And we've also got this little end-of-level goal that we can get whatever is on the stand there, as long as we hit the bullseye with enough force. We do our wrap, and we move on. Okay, so our second level, Mainbrace Mayhem. Also, you can go back and you can see the exclamation mark means you got all the bonus games, and of course the little DK coin means you picked that up as well. So pretty different theme here right out of the gate. They do this a lot. We've got a secret little bonus game here if we want to jump over to the right and hop in the barrel. And this is just another traditional find the token type level. So yeah, Donkey Kong Country 2, you can see it's pretty similar to the first one if you didn't already know about it, which, you know, a lot of people probably have. It's a pretty popular game, but, you know, it does make some changes, gives you more to do. I think it's a kind of a bigger game than the first one is. There's certainly more to collect, and I don't know if there are more levels. I don't think so. There might be, but I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but it just feels like a bigger game, like there's more to do. So, you know, in a lot of ways, they have actually improved from the first one. So, you know, whether you like the first one better or not, maybe just nostalgia talking, I don't know. But I think DKC 2 is definitely a pretty good one in the series. Oh, that was fun. And also, it's worth mentioning the music, as expected, is just fantastic. Probably one of the most well-received game soundtracks of all time. So, you know, it's worth keeping in mind as we go through, and there's lots of variety as well. Later levels, you know, there are some stages that have music you'll only hear once or twice throughout the entire game. So, you know, it's actually pretty neat. Alright, so we've got a cannonball here. This is another type of bonus game. We can get the cannonball in the cannon, which makes it ready for us to shoot off and into another bonus game. We'll have to be, doing that every time we see one if we want to get 100% here, which, like I think I said before, we're definitely going to. So this is just another destroy all enemies level. All you gotta do is throw the cannonball up. Pretty simple. I think it's possible to jump on those guys. I don't know if you could do that with this setup or not with all the ropes around, but I basically just don't try it. You got the cannonball, why would you need to try it? So there's another barrel we gotta team up for. You use team up to get things that are like really high. This is also the third type of bonus game, collecting all the stars. You just gotta make sure to collect all the stars. I guess you didn't really need me to say that, but teaming up is usually used to get things that are higher up. You can sometimes actually reach higher up platforms with it as well. We'll be seeing that in a couple of cases, but that probably won't be for a while still. They save the harder stuff for later on. Tons of collectibles here, and I think, yep, there's the decay metal. So just gotta make sure to get that. I got lucky with the life there. I don't really need it. I'm already up to 13 at the end of the second level, so, as is kind of the standard. The first level's pretty easy. You shouldn't really have too much trouble. So here we've got our other types of levels. First off, we've got our good old Cranky Kong. We're not going to be visiting him very much at all. In fact, we probably won't be visiting him after this at all. So maybe like once more. I think I can think of one more time we'll want to visit him, but otherwise he's going to just play Killer Instinct for a while. Hey, I guess that's fine. Another rare title, so why not, right? But otherwise, Cranky will give you tips, kind of like before, except you actually have to pay him using those little, the smaller coins. Not the big tokens, but the smaller coins that are more common. The tokens at the end of the bonus games are used for something else. This one's kind of clever. You just got to find the right treasure chest, but you've got plenty of time to try all of them, so it doesn't really matter. So we can also team up here and get to, and that was a good shot. We can get to this little hook up here, and that'll let us get some bonus stuff as well as our DK metal for this level. And this game does have a few instances, kind of like the first, where there are just sort of blind falls. Like you've just got a ledge, and you need to jump down, but you can't quite see what's below you. They try to rectify that in this game a lot by putting banana trails, like telling you where you need to fall. In most cases, it's pretty well marked. Like, see right there, you can tell that you were going to land on solid ground because that's where the bananas were. But, overall, I think they do okay. Gotta team up here and get up to these barrels, jump on the hooks, get some stuff. And there's another instance where you know exactly where to fall because of the bananas. This level also has a pretty cool sort of like day to dusk transition. The sky gets a little bit more purple and things get a little more reddish as we go on, so that's kind of cool as well. The levels do a lot more cool stuff like that in this game than they did in the first. The first, it was pretty static for the most part. This little exclamation mark barrel is invincibility, so we can just jump straight into these guys and don't have to worry about anything, which is pretty nice. And we need to use that to get on top of those barrels and hit that bonus game. And of course, the bonus games are timed. Most of the time, the time doesn't come into it. They'll kind of let you screw up a few times before you really have to worry about like running out of time on the bonus level. But, it's there. Just something to keep in mind. Let's see what we can get here. Probably just the coin, because honestly, lives really don't matter. So we're up to 6. Most things cost in the area of 1, 2, or 3 coins. I don't think anything actually costs more than 3 coins, but, they're good to have around just in case. So we've got our next little side area here, Kong College. This is run by Wrinkly Kong, head mistress of the Kong College. They also teach very bad math, apparently, up there on the chalkboard. I don't know what kind of exam that is that also has the answers on it, and all of the answers are incorrect. Maybe some stupid monkey came through and couldn't figure out how to do those math problems. I don't know. So you can see she'll also give you game advice that costs coins, but we're not going to be using any of her services for that. So we're basically, Wrinkly Kong is just the place, Kong College is the place you want to go to save your game. Kind of the less sexualized Candy Kong, I guess, of Donkey Kong Country 2, if you will. Alright, so of course, kind of a water level here. It's not quite the water levels in the first game. I don't think, that was kind of bad. I don't think there are any water levels that are just like purely water, but I'm not sure. Oh, well, there you go, first death. I was trying to hit that little secret passage, but couldn't quite remember where it was. So let's try that again, shall we? There we go. So there's a lot of places like this in water levels, which I'm not really a huge fan of because you kind of just have to know they're there, where you can just kind of go through the walls and all that. So otherwise, we just got to avoid the stuff. Lots of varied water enemies, mostly in DKC 1. They were just kind of stationary or, you know, moving in a very set pattern. But a lot of things will actually go for you in this game. So On Guard's ability is you can sort of just charge up and dash towards things, and that'll let you break the wall there to get into a bonus game. So we got a little maze here. Basically, once you learn the way as a kid, you never forget it. Go right here, right, then you head up, then you head right, and up there is the coin. They give you plenty of time, though. I had 30 seconds I could have spent looking around for the exit, so plenty of time there. The music for the water levels is also pretty good. Definitely takes a different approach from the first one. The first one was kind of more serene and relaxing. This one is definitely more action-packed and tense. And of course, they do have these little signs that keep you from bringing the animals past a certain point. I think that's new in this game. That wasn't in the first one. You could finish like basically every level that has an animal in it with the animal in the first game, but this one it cuts you off at various places. They usually turn into useful stuff though, so it's actually kind of a benefit, really. Yeah, those little starfish are kind of annoying, but they basically just stay on their pattern. There's another On Guard down here we can get. Yeah, and the red guys will sort of charge at you after chomping a few times. They only charge at where they saw you, though, so that gives you plenty of time to get out of the way. Alright, now once we get to the end of this, if we charge up and head to the right really quick there, we can kind of fish out of water, looks like. Oh man, look at that, he's like floating. Oh, that was cool. I'm an anti-gravity fish, man. So yeah, there we go, fall back into the water. That'll just get our DK medal though, and we can also have the end of the level. Just get the coin, might as well. And of course, when Dixie finishes the level, she does that ripping guitar solo as opposed to Diddy Kong's rap. So Swanky's bonus Bonanza, there are a lot of extra places to go in this game if you couldn't tell. This is basically just kind of a game show where you can pay coins in order to take these quizzes. First one's free, and most of them are pretty simple, especially the first one. This guy's name is Swanky. First enemy you see in the game is one of those rats. And this name of the island is the Gangplank Galleon. Then when you get that, depending on which quiz you took, you get either 1 life, 2 lives, or 3 lives. So, you know, if you need lives, this is an okay way to do it. But if you don't know the answers, then you might actually get stumped on some of them. So, of course, the name of the enemy boss, Captain K-Rap. Again, that's one that I didn't catch the first time I played this as a kid. We call him Captain Crap, right? So some of these get kind of tricky. How many windows did the captain's cabin have? It was 4. Name of the first rigging level, you may not know exactly what that means, but it's Mainbrace Mayhem. Which of the following is not a background object in the cabin? This quiz can be kind of tough, actually, so you may have to just skip it or look up the answers or just spend a lot of coins trying it over and over, you know? Alright, so Topsail Trouble is the last regular level in this world here. You can see it's raining, kind of a nice background there. Now we also have our first new animal helper guy. This is a snake, his name's Rattly, I think. And basically his deal is that he jumps high. He's actually kind of hard to maneuver with because he just bounces around everywhere. You feel like you really don't have much traction. But if we hold up A, he can do this super jump, which will let us get up to higher places and of course access this bonus barrel as well. So, you know, I think it's pretty easy to see that, you know, while Diddy's Kong Quest does take a lot of notes from the original game, it does a lot of new things. And, you know, I think it probably actually earns its place as one of the best in the series. You know, DKC 3 is a little divisive among people. I'm not really one in the camp of people that have played it and liked it. You know, I basically, like, after DKC 2, I got like an N64 and didn't really come back, so I actually kind of missed the third one, but, you know. This one definitely is, it earns its place in Super Nintendo history with Donkey Kong Country, so, you know, it's a pretty good game. So our DK medal is, oh, I thought it was over there. Well, this is kind of a shortcut, so let's not mess with that, and let's just keep going. I'm always afraid I'll miss something if I skip too much of the level that way. Alright, we can get this coin here. There we go. There's some dragonflies up there. Those actually kind of denote a bonus level, but we can't really get up there right now, so we'll have to just keep it in mind. Here's our DK medal. It's over here to the right this way. We're also going to switch to Dixie, so we can kind of get over here, and that'll let us hover to this little platform, and our bonus barrel is right underneath. If you didn't have Dixie, you could, of course, just use those dragonflies to jump to it. Now, this one can be a bit tricky. These dragonflies doesn't make a lot of sense when you hear it, but they move a lot faster than they look. So you have to be really careful on these ropes. It's actually pretty easy to get caught by one. Using Diddy might be better. He's actually a slightly faster climber, but you know, it doesn't really matter. Like you saw, you can do it with Dixie as well, as long as you're patient and careful enough. Good music too. This is also kind of an interesting thing. For some reason, hovering like preserves your momentum for some reason. If you don't hit the bullseye thing hard enough, like if you just jump from the ground onto it, you won't actually get the little bonus item at the end. So, you know, you have to make sure to jump from a height. But if you hover with her hair, then for some reason you like pretty much always get it. So here's Funky's flight, so we can hire his plane, but we don't have anywhere to go, so it's kind of useless at this point. You can also see the DK island in the background there if you looked on the map, but this is going to be our boss for the first world. Bosses are a little bit more involved in this game than they were in the first one. In the first game, it's usually you enter a cave full of bananas and either jump on someone or hit them with a barrel. That's, you know, that's kind of the extent of the bosses. But this one has some interesting changes. This first boss is, of course, pretty simple. We've just got to get the eggs that fall and hit them with the eggs. So, you know, not too hard. But already, I mean, this is more complicated than really any boss you would fight in the first game, except for maybe K. Rool at the end. And some of these eggs can fall out pretty fast. Oh, I didn't even see that one. It was kind of a stealth one, just like hid behind the boss there. So, you know, a couple more hits with the egg and we're good to go. We're up to 11 of those tokens, and we're ready to move on to the next world. So that's going to do it for the first level here. I'm going to be splitting these videos up by world, so thanks for watching. See you next time.